Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Just recording this right after the previous one. Just getting off a run, and just had a really interesting day today, and I feel like I learned a lot today, and so I wanted to just kind of film some things, just speaking some ideas out for you guys. And in this one, I wanted to share, what I believe was probably the biggest false belief that I struggled with now that I'm really thinking about it. Back when I was first getting into, owning a business and getting into entrepreneurship. And I think if I can summarize the belief, it's essentially that, it's essentially that the results that I got were in equivalence to how hard I worked. And that's true to a point, because at the end of the day, once you have a good system, you've got a good process, you have to work hard to grow it, right? But the problem with that line of thinking is that it assumes that it's purely hard work that's going to take you from here to there. And what I've realized and what I've experienced after, literally being best friends with people doing, 3 to 4 million a year, and being in their presence, like just playing video games with them, like this is just my network now, and I'm really blessed by that, is that people who work hard, it's because they haven't taken time to creatively build leverage and build a good system. So like hard work often is there almost because there hasn't been time to think about what really you could build leverage with. So it's almost like, smart work over hard work. But when you can have both, that's when you really fly. So let me define like smart work, for example. Like a lot of people, they might come out with like a $1,500 offer, right? And they think, all right, I gotta work hard, I gotta send tons of prospects out, tons of proposals, get as many calls as I can and sell. That's a great place to start, sure. But if honestly you're there for any more than about 6 months, maybe 3 months even, and you don't raise the price of your offer and maybe take some of that cash, put it into marketing to build a better system, invest in a solid, maybe a mentor or somebody to help you build a better process, then you're gonna notice that you're working extremely hard for scraps. So I think the people that I see winning, they focus on the right things. And the right things are what I like to call asymmetric activities. So there's activities that are extremely symmetrical. Like you put in one input and you get one output. Like, if you take 5 sales calls, you're gonna get 1 sale. Or you send out 100 proposals, you're gonna get 5 meetings, right? Or, you put out 6 pieces of content, you're gonna get 3,000 views, whatever, right? And you can do the math on your business from there. But asymmetric activities are when you kind of break the entire system, you forget everything and you play from another angle and see what you can do from a completely new angle. So, for example, like one of my buddies, he looked at this concept of like a webinar funnel, and a lot of you guys might be familiar with this, where you kind of just run ads down a funnel where they opt in, and then they watch a video. Then at the end, they can book a call or buy your product if they like the webinar and if they feel like they got value and they trust you. And that's a good way of scaling. A lot of people did that. But he kind of looked at that process and he was like, all right, I could build a webinar funnel, but really what does a webinar funnel do? Well, it's like it builds trust, it gives value to people, it pitches a product really well, and it kind of builds a list along the way of potential leads and prospects that you can reach back out to if they've been warmed up enough, right? That's kind of like what it does. And he thought, well, instead of a webinar funnel, what if I just run ads straight to my YouTube channel and let that YouTube channel kind of act as the webinar funnel, because I'm already getting sales from the channel. So why not just like do that? And then he spent like $10,000 and made like 20,000 back. So he's like, screw it, let's spend $100,000. And he spent 100, made 200 back. So he looked up the webinar funnel concept and he spent like 3 months building out a webinar funnel and then scrapped the whole thing. Cause he's like, really, what's converting traffic? Well, my channel is converting traffic. So let's just run paid ads to that. Why not? And now I do the same thing where I'm running ads like probably about $400 a day, just sending people to the channel, and it does pretty well. Another example could be like, I had this false belief of like, if I'm gonna get on the phone with somebody and sell them a service, I'm going to have to like, actually be the one fulfilling the service, or at least it needs to be a service. I can't really sell a program. I need to make sure that I put in hard work and that I honor the client's investment by working hard on the project. But like, that's not actually, there's no more ethics in that than just building a system that, doesn't require any work from you, that is actually better for the client at the end of the day, then that will be better for the client if it's hands-off and it works consistently than relying on your human emotions and your mood that day and how hard you're willing to work on the project. So why waste your time doing service delivery when you can build systems? So these are just some concepts of asymmetric activities. Like, for example, I looked at another example could be, I was spending a lot of time building out this whole video training on sales for our clients in high-level systems. And I literally spent like 6 days on slides and presentation and examples, and I wrote up this script and all this stuff. And it's good training, and I ended up recording it, and our clients have it. But like, they got more value from us hosting a 3-day event where we just went topic by topic. We let the clients guide it, and we didn't prepare anything. We just let the clients tell us what they needed, and then we answered it objectively as they gave us topics and as they gave us specific examples. And like, right after the 3-day training, we had a client close a $27,000 deal. We had another client close like $15,000 in a single day, 3 different sales. We had a guy who went from 0 and 14, so he's closed no deals out of 14 sales calls, to closing nearly 5 back to back. And I was like, wow, that is what the community needed. They needed hands-on. They didn't need me to build out a whole thing, because I saw all these other competitors of mine building out massive sales trainings and like, giving people tons of scripts and stuff. And we did do that, and it's all there, and it's good training. Like, it's really valuable training, but really it doesn't even compare to the 4 to 6 hours of training material that we naturally created by just recording a 3-day training event on the topic of high ticket sales. And like, right after the event, all of our clients are succeeding. So I just want you to think about, what molds are you placing your thinking in that you can break out of? What assumptions are you making? And sometimes you don't even realize what assumptions you're making. And that's the tricky part. So this is where I'm walking right next to a road, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. This is where looking at other business models is extremely helpful. Like, for example, you can look at Tesla, like the car company, and you can look at how like Elon Musk is like this software engineer that entered what is otherwise a very industrial niche. It's just car manufacturing. And so he took software engineering concepts and applied them to cars, like, having sort of a gig economy car company where every car gets better as every car gets driven, because, it's a network of artificial intelligence that, updates each car every day to get smarter and smarter. Like, that's never been heard of, but that's a concept that has been heard of already millions of times in the software world. So we took a software concept, applied it to cars. And you can do this in your own business. This is why I honestly encourage you to study outside of the internet marketer sort of bubble and sphere, and look at like businesses that have grown to like, $5-6 billion, valuations. Because every time they're at that level, they've done something different. Like, another example could be, Coinbase. A lot of you know Coinbase because of, the fact that, they're one of the most popular sites to invest into cryptocurrency with. And, at the time that they were founded, their business model didn't really make sense. Like, people understood that cryptocurrency was going to be a thing, but they thought, you could just buy Bitcoin just straight off Bitcoin, and you don't really need a hosting platform. And people were like, oh, treating, coins like stocks, that's a little weird, because it's just currencies. And their idea was kind of out there. But they basically built a database where they could collect and allow people to invest in cryptocurrencies. And from what I know, they were one of the first to do it, and then immediately tons of other people pioneered. So really the concept that they understand is curation versus creation. Coinbase didn't create any coins. It hasn't created any coins as far as I'm aware. They purely hosted other people's coins. So you see people like Tai Lopez doing this as well, where he doesn't really create his own courses. He just kind of curates and brings in other experts. And he's like one of the biggest internet marketers on the planet. So you can look at other companies and be inspired by how they operate and how they decide to make decisions and how they think. And it will help you break out of the assumptions you're making currently regarding how you're supposed to run your business. Because I don't think anybody else is going to tell you this, but the reality of business is there's no rules. Besides maybe government regulations, which you should abide by, there's no rules. And you can get as creative as you want to get. And creative problem solving is often the gap between you know, like 100,000 a year and 100 million a year. And being able to take an idea and innovate on it and change the way it works fundamentally so that it has mass market appeal and adoption. So anyway, it's getting kind of loud. I'm around a lot of cars now. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I want you to understand the importance of thinking differently and being able to apply outside concepts to your business, because nobody thinks this way. I think especially within the internet marketer industry, we all kind of just model after each other, and that's fine to a point. If you just want like a certain lifestyle and you just kind of want to be like, you know, making a certain amount of money, that's fine. You can just model after other people. But I really want to take things to the next level in my business. And so I'm really looking at, you know, what assumptions am I making that I don't have to be making? So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, leave a like, comment down below. I'll be sure to see you in the next one.